edition of SportsCenter. Is this rock bottom for Rodgers and Brady? How both legends came up short once again. Dak is back, and the Cowboys are right on track. While Tua returned safely in Miami, how both QBs shook off the rust to pick up wins. And the World Series is set, while the Astros sweep leaves Aaron Judge and the Yanks with key decisions, and how Bryce Harper had his destiny fulfilled in Philly. David and Ryan with you on this Monday morning. It took just 3 games for the Russell Westbrook questions to crank up in L.A. We're going to get there. First, they went for a Super Bowl 54 rematch.
Yes, please. I'll take that. Kansas City versus San Francisco, both angling for a return to the Super Bowl this year, with the Niners loading up last week, adding Christian McCaffrey to the fold, playing his first game in a 49er uniform. Could they get some revenge? The answer, a resounding no, especially with Master Chief Patrick Mahomes leading the charge. 49ers, Chiefs. There's McCaffrey and his new duds, and he got it going early on. First drive of the game, McCaffrey, right up the middle, 10-yard gain. Niners will go on to get the field goal and go up 3-0. And then after picking off Mahomes, Jimmy Garoppolo, second and goal, moving, finding Ray McCloud, touchdown. Early 10-0 lead for the Niners. So next drive for the Chiefs, first and goal. Mecole Hardman, drop pass from Mahomes, touchdown. 8-yard touchdown for Hardman. Chiefs on the board, 10-7. Second quarter, 13-7 now. Chiefs with the ball. Hardman taking a page from the 49ers book, looking like Debo there. The handoff, the end around, speeds past everybody, 25-yard touchdown. Chiefs up 14-13. They lead at the half. Third quarter, Clyde Edwards-Helaire going to work. 16-yard rumble into the end zone for a touchdown. Chiefs up 21-13. Fourth quarter, they're up 28-16. 49ers back in the red zone. Garoppolo to Kittle. Touchdown. Niners right back in it, down 5. Next drive, Chiefs, third and long. Mahomes goes deep. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 57-yard completion. Huge play for the Chiefs. Later in the drive, first and goal. Guess who gets it? Hardman. The handoff. The jet sweep. Third touchdown of the game for him. Chiefs go up 12 at that point. They go on to win it, 44-23. And so Patrick Mahomes, he makes the most of every opportunity, but especially on the road. Mahomes has 8 career games with 400 yards and 3 scores. That's 5th most in NFL history. And the guys ahead of him, all Hall of Famers, MVPs, or champions. Now Mahomes has 7 of those games on the road.
Let's welcome some QBs back to the fray. Dallas didn't back up with its backup, Cooper Rush, but Dak returned yesterday after missing 5 games with a broken thumb. And after a shaky start, the Cowboys eventually pulled away from the Lions. Dallas D doing its thing, forcing 5 turnovers, a couple short Zeke touchdowns. Dak 19-25 for 207 and the touchdown pass. Cowboys get to 5-2. Here's Ed Werder.
Dak Prescott ruined his own ending Sunday with a late touchdown pass against the Lions in a game the Cowboys had already won. Prescott said he was fine with that. It actually hoped to avoid it at that point because he recognized it would focus unwanted attention on the quarterback. That's just kind of where my head is right now, Prescott said. I know how talented this team is. I know what we can be. It's not about me. It's about all of us. In his absence, Prescott could plainly see what the Cowboys need him to be. And it's not the statistical marvel that Prescott has so often been. Prescott's emphasis now, making good decisions, protecting the football, taking advantage of all the turnovers the defense creates. There were 5 in the second half alone against the Lions. So Prescott was fine if the pregame was all about his return, just so long as the game was about everyone else. He even mentioned how early it ended, saying he's never been in the locker room before 3 o'clock. That's what happens, he said, when you run the ball. In Arlington, Texas, I'm Ed Werder, ESPN.
Dallas had played well without Dak. The Dolphins had lost 3 straight since Tua went down in the middle. The Bengals lost. Playing the Steelers Sunday night. Tua back from the concussion. Didn't do a lot. Miami managed just 16 points, but they held on. Kenny Pickett, who also just got out of concussion protocol, picked 3 times in the loss. Dolphins back in the win column after a scoreless second half. Here's Jeff Darlington with more.
It started exactly how the Dolphins dreamed it up. A heroic return by Tua Tagovailoa, back in action after his team dropped 3 games without him, taking his team down the field for a clean and gorgeous touchdown drive. It also ended how they wanted, with a win. Perhaps the Dolphins would just prefer to forget all that happened in between. As Tagovailoa said afterwards, there was plenty to clean up, and that starts with him. Head coach Mike McDaniel also taking his share of the blame for a near loss, noting it was a bad decision, for instance, to pass on a field goal attempt early in the second half in favor of a missed fourth down conversion. In other words, plenty of mistakes for Miami, but still a win in Tua's return that snaps their 3-game skid. In Miami Gardens, Jeff Darlington, ESPN.
So the Dolphins making mistakes and winning. The Packers right now just making mistakes. The mighty Aaron Rodgers falling hard these days, taking on the Commanders on Sunday. There's Rodgers, Taylor Heineke in for the Commanders, with Carson Wentz on injured reserve. Third quarter, Commanders down 4. Heineke stepping back, finding Terry McLaurin. Whoa! 37-yard touchdown. Get fired up, Terry. Commanders lead 17-14. Packers down 9 in the fourth. 3:33 left in the game. Rodgers looking, finding Aaron Jones. What a catch. Over the top for a touchdown. Packers fighting back, still down by 2. Taylor Heineke getting the crowd fired up as the Packers approach their final play of the game. Rodgers to Robert Tonyan. 21 yards. They're saying, let's keep this thing alive. Over to Amari Rodgers, who fumbles. Zach Tom picks it up. Then laterals to Samori Toure, who says, let me try to do some work here. And I got to find somebody. Hey, how about back to Aaron Rodgers? Can he make magic happen? No. Throws the ball out of bounds. Rodgers disappointed. Packers lose. And afterwards, here's Roger on the playoff chances.
I'm wondering if that feels not favorable, but when you ship and get the playoffs, does that feel plausible right now?
Damn right it does. I'm not worried about this squad. In fact, this might be the best thing for us. This week, nobody's going to give us a chance. Going to Buffalo and Sunday Night Football, the chance to get exposed, shoot, might be the best thing for us.
All right, well, he said he's not worried, but the bottom line is Rodgers is off to the worst start of his career. He has his worst QBR through the first 7 games of a season. The Packers have scored just 128 points this season, the fewest points in any 7-game span with Rodgers as their starting quarterback. Rob Demovsky has more on the challenges facing Rodgers and these Packers.
This is unfamiliar territory for the Green Bay Packers. They've lost 3 in a row for the first time under Packers coach Matt LaFleur, and they have perhaps their biggest challenge coming up next Sunday night at Buffalo. Now, Rodgers himself knows he has to play better. He said the key for him might be trying to make more off-schedule plays, get out of the pocket, and move around a little bit more. When asked if Rodgers needs to play better, Packers coach Matt LaFleur says it takes everyone. Everyone around him will have to play better. At FedEx Field, Rob Demovsky, ESPN.
Rodgers' struggles were nothing compared to the latest disaster for Tom Brady and the Bucs. Why another embarrassing loss as Brady's searching for answers.
Well, break out the glass slippers because Cinderella's heading to the World Series. The Phillies, the very last team to make the playoffs in the National League, captured the pennant and the NLCS 4 games to 1 with a 4-3 win over the Padres. Bryce Harper, his team's bellwether, sealed the deal with a 2-run blast in the 8th, sending Philly to the first World Series since 2009. Now, here's Jesse Rogers on Harper's homer for the ages.
Bryce Harper said he doesn't like to look backward in his career, but his 8th-inning home run to clinch the pennant will be remembered for generations in Philadelphia, a city he chose as a free agent as much as the team chose him. On this night, both parties got what they signed up for, with one big swing.
I knew he liked his fastball a lot. Once I kind of spit on the 1-2 changeup, I kind of thought, kind of got him where I want him, right? I tried to put the best swing I could on him, early and down.
I was just on the rail, like it looked like I had an exorcism out there. I was like, oh my God, yeah! Like, you did it! You did it! Yes, he did. I mean, there was no doubt.
I was actually in the training room, and I could feel the place rumbling, and the glass was shaking in there. It was pretty wild.
Right man, right spot, a lot of confidence in the world in him. He's been so locked in since postseason baseball started, and again, he delivered.
Harper was so locked into the game, he had to be told afterwards when the World Series begins. 4 or 5 days off? That's a lot, he said. Now, the Phillies will begin the Fall Classic on the road, just as they have every postseason series, but that's okay with Rhys Hoskins. He said, we're no longer underdogs. We're rolling right now. In Philadelphia, Jesse Rogers, ESPN.
Coming up, the Astros are moving on to face the Phillies in the World Series while getting swept means an offseason of decisions for Aaron Judge and the Yankees.